Hey. Yeah, anyway, we're back, alright, man. I'm really enjoying this game. This has been a lot more fun than I expected. I've played through it all, alright? Kind of like, I don't know. Should I say stuff like that? I feels like I shouldn't, but I really enjoy this game. So now I'm doing all the post-coms, and yeah, we get right into it here. Right, is everybody here? Great. We'll be heading off shortly for Mapletown and the next stage of the tournament. All you need to do is go and grab your things, say goodbye, etc. But the sooner we can leave, the better. So make haste. Alright, Metro, I'm gonna go and grab my things, and then I'll be straight back. Okay, see you in a minute, buddy. Who's that? Who is that? Are you ready to leave yet? Good, Mapletown awaits. So yeah, this is like, he's kind of like the coordinator, so it's chapter 2, onwards and upwards begins now here as well. Alright, so this is as far as the road goes, I'm afraid. We'll have to walk the rest. Mapletown should be just northeast from here. So have a quick break, stretch your legs, have a look around the town. The next round will be happening later this afternoon. By the way, I'm Gabriel. I'll be your mentor throughout the competition. Everyone okay with that? Let's go. No one get lost, please. So this is honestly probably one of the cooler parts of the entire game. We get to battle everybody. So like the town we were in previously, right? People signed up and participated in like the first leg of the event from this town. You know, I don't know how it works if they actually live there. As you'll find out, our character does not. But now we are going to kind of like battle them all. This is optional, I'm pretty sure. But you do get a cool look at all these people's personalities. I think there are more, but maybe not. Maybe these are the only ones. Yeah, I guess these are the only ones from this town. And you get a chance to battle them, and you kind of see like a little bit into their personalities, their trainer styles. I wouldn't say that part's necessary, but it is kind of fun actually to get a look at them like this, because like I said in the last episode, almost all of these people have some kind of backstory. Like, I mean, it's not the best, it's not like crazy well developed, but it's cool enough that when you fight them, they all have like some specific interest to your player's character. And yeah, I think that's really unique. Like, this game is already quite unique, I would say. Like, I don't really know of another game that sets up this way, that's for sure. I certainly don't know of another game that does this with like sans badges, you know. But yeah, what a lovely battle. I look forward to doing it again, Metro. So yeah, as you see her there, and we kind of get a little look at her. She's not the most pronounced. In fact, really none of them are comparatively. Like, they all kind of, you really build on it as the game goes. But it's really cool to get these, like, these are main characters essentially of this game. You know, typically this type of thing, you know, it's like getting to meet the people in gyms. So this one's important, right? Hey there. What do you want? Do you want to battle me? Is that it? I guess so. If that's not too much trouble. Fine, let's get this over with. So she's like super snotty, right? And now this one's like, this is the one that we're gonna see in the next arena thing. Like, we're going to Mapletown, and yeah, she's got a part to play in that. So we're gonna get right to it with her. So she's kind of like, this is kind of her setup story. That's, I guess, why she's a bit more pronounced. But either way, like I said, these characters all have some involvement in the story in general. So it's a little bit more like, you know, like in games like Reborn and stuff, where the story kind of gets driven by this this written story, you know, like it's driven by narrative and plot development, whereas like the vanilla games are kind of driven by the predefined notion of 8 badges, and then like the Team Rocket or whatever equivalent gets kind of layered on top as, you know, more substance. This is kind of like a mix of both, right? The predefined notion of completing this arena tournament thing is quite cool, but these characters actually drive it much more heavily than other games, and that's kind of like the coolest part. So as you see here, this is a great example of it, right? So this guy's like, he's a fisherman, right? And when you think of fishermen, you think of dudes with 4 Magikarp, and you know, despite the fact that the Magikarp increase in level, they're bad, so you beat them easily. But yeah, this guy's got kind of like, he's got better water Pokemon, let's put it that way. And that alone is kind of neat. Like, it's a little bit different and a little bit more exciting. You know, like your typical fishing trainer is not really, yeah, it's not this guy, that's for sure. And yeah, like I said, you get a look into his team, what he's gonna have, how he's gonna play a little bit. It's not, like I said, it's not the most developed or pronounced with these players, but once you kind of see them in their respective gym battle equivalent, quote unquote, like every one of these guys is eventually going to be a boss, like somebody that you have to beat to win the legs of the tournaments. And yeah, you kind of get a look at that now, which I mean, I really do like. The narrative and the idea of this game are so unique, and setting this up like this is really cool. So I think, I mean, hopefully you guys enjoy this concept as well, because I feel like that's something that, fan game makers, they don't really delve too deeply, and they kind of just, they write their own story, write their own regions, lore, and story as well, and they kind of just keep the vanilla theme the way it is, which I assume is a smart idea, because most people, they want to play a Pokemon game, but when you kind of get a little bit more adventurous, that's when you blur the line between fandom and actual creation. I think that's the right play. Like if I was going to make a fan game, which I have considered, and if I had more time, I definitely would. Maybe someday, man. Maybe once I've run dry of all other ideas, I will. But it just seems like an incredible investment, and having to tediously test my own versions, that sounds pretty gross. But anyway, if I was to do that, sidetracked. If I was to do that, what I would definitely do is try to think outside the box. In fact, I've had this idea for a long time, but I don't know if it's even feasible. But what I would do if I had my own fan game made is to make every gym battle something you can do concurrently. Like, well, that's not the right word, but so you can travel the whole world. There's no gated linearity, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, there's nothing like that. You can just travel to any area, kind of like harkening back to Gen 1, which, I think most people probably look on fondly. But this guy's pretty cool. I was exploring until I fractured my knee in a cave. So it's like I took an arrow to the knee thing. But yeah, I think it's harkening back to Gen 1 a bit there, that concept. Like, you could take on any of you could take on Sabrina, Erica, who is it? Koga. You can take on any of those three basically as you want, even though there's like a position requirement for them. You can actually do them in any order you please, so that's kind of fun. But I think at that point it was just poorly made. Like they wanted it to be linear, but their method of enforcing linear, I don't know. It didn't work well. So if I was to do it, I would do the complete opposite. Like I would try to make it as non-linear as possible, more like an MMO world. And I think that's a big issue that these Pokemon MMOs, quote unquote, like these fan game Pokemon MMOs that come out, they make that mistake as well. They keep it very linear. If I was to make one of those, like if I was part of a development team on one of those, it would be even more easy to kind of get this notion across, right? Because being linear in an MMO is very unhealthy. Like that's a real big part about like why games like WoW, people don't like them, because they feel like there's nothing to do, and it's tough to look past that linear progression for your character. But when you manage to do so, it's that much rewarding. So I think making a fan game, you'd have to dwell on those types of thoughts, because that's really going to bring the games to the next level. So now here we see this dude here. I don't know, man. I don't know about this guy. He feels like he's a really minor character, and his character does not develop yet in the game currently. So I'm not really sure what to say about him, but if out of all of them, I would say that he's the weakest in terms of development. So we do, we clean this guy's clock, and no metaphor there really. He's not like a clockmaker. He's not that kind of scientist. Not like a physicist. I think he's just kind of like a ponderous fellow. I'm not really sure. Like I said, he's not very well developed, but the rest of them are, and we are going to meet like our main rival here shortly, who's fucking cute, man. To be honest, like I really liked the personality that this character has. The main character as well. Like this is probably one of the best written main character I've ever played for sure. Like typically there is no writing for the main character, right? Like they're literally meant to be you, and you have no voice in the game because you're you. You're not. It wouldn't be writable. Which is kind of strange because, in fact, I'm trying to think here, like, do you speak in Reborn and, like, Rejuve and stuff? I'm not even really sure about that, but either way, that's usually how it goes, and that does not happen in this game. In fact, it's quite the opposite. our character is very sarcastic, opinionated. They were really well involved in the story, and that makes the game feel even more rich. Like, that's one of my favorite parts of the game, actually. The way the character kind of like handles every situation and sheds a little bit of sarcastic light on some things. Like, you know, the Gabriel guy, he's like, oh, you got to go put your life on the line in this cave. And the character's like, about that, you know? So it's like, here we go. Hello, you must be Metro, right? Yep, last time I checked. How'd you know? I saw how well you did in the arena. I was rather impressed. Thanks. Yeah, for a lightweight, you certainly did very well. Could you be a little more patronizing, please? So what, you think you have a chance now? Of course. Well, I think it's only fair that I cut you down to size. So as you see there, the sarcasm is rife. And, you know, the early interactions between these characters aren't the best, but I think we are going to see a little bit more in this episode, depending on how far I get. I can't even remember. And this is one of my favorite parts about doing this. Like, this is like me watching a movie. It's been like, I recorded these in March 2013. So it's been that long. No, but it's kind of cool. Like, it's a little bit more interesting when I do it this way, to be honest. And, you know, when you come to that realization, it really changes the way you think about potato chips. Oh, sorry, that was the wrong recording I put in there. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to fight this little black dog, which has a skull on its face. So in order to do that, we're going to first sacrifice the Medicham. Then we're going to send in the Steelix. So if you guys paid attention earlier, you saw me set up with the Steelix. That's one of the most fun things I have playing this game. I'm obviously cheating like so immensely, it's unreal, but that kind of stuff is so fun to me. Like, setting up Steelix is one of my favorite Pokemon. But anyway, let's read what. You sure showed me. That was one hell of a battle. I'll be keeping my eye on you, Metro. You seem different. Thanks, I think. So yeah, like, she is definitely the rival, like, quote unquote rival. But it's a bit different. This guy's sleeping. What a fucking slouch. But anyway, this game handles this whole situation very differently, as they've been talking about now for about 6 years. It's a really, really cool and kind of like a more... it feels more like I'm actually a person, you know, like a human being instead of an anime character. Metro, you finally arrived. I wasn't aware I was being timed. Anyway, this is, I forget who. My name's Jasper. My uncle owns the manor overlooking Citrus Garden. Yeah, this is Jasper, and he's agreed to give us some Pokemon. Really? Just like that? Yes, my uncle has plenty of Pokemon. He should give you some. Come by my manor when you're done looking around. Wow, isn't that great, Metro? Uh-huh. Gotta love rich people with more money than sense. You said it, man. You better go if you want to do all this before the next tournament battle. Which we do, so we're gonna go. I'm gonna show you guys what happens in here. It's quite different. Like I said, this really kind of sets the stage for what I'm talking about here. Like, you really feel like a person playing this game, not like some anime character, which is cool. There you are. Where's your friend? He'll be along in a minute, I guess. Well, there's no point waiting out here. Let's go inside and meet my uncle. Uncle, this is who I was telling you about. This is Metro. I didn't quite catch that. His name is Metro. He's a Pokemon trainer, remember? Oh, you're talking about the scoundrels who's taken part in that blasted tournament? Yes, that would be me. Scoundrel number 1. Well, I've got no use for the lot of you, filling up our town with your junk. You made a mess of things, then leave, rustling Pokemon people's jimmies. We even spent a bloody fortune on that damn stadium, just so you could batter your creatures full sport. And you'll be here for what, 5 minutes? Ridiculous, I say. Uncle, remember your heart condition. I'm sorry, he's not usually like this. Don't apologize. I'm very angry right now, and you're going to suffer for it. I haven't battled in a while, but I think I can still take you on. So there you go, like... I mean, that's really, like, humanistic character development. When you say, like, I don't feel like that real in any other game. I don't feel like I've actually impacted player characters that much in any other game. And it's really, really impactful in this because... You know, like, this is exactly how people would react. These guys, they live in a town of, like, literally 8 people, right? Like, there's 2 houses in the whole town, which is just how Pokemon rolls and the way the maps are made. But and they have, like, this giant tournament building that hundreds of people come to see. and then everybody just leaves. Like it takes like potentially 10 minutes, and everybody leaves afterwards. So that's exactly how people would react. You know, people would really be irked, like they feel like they've gotten the raw end of this deal. And even though like some exposure is better than none, a lot of people in this game, and you know, in real life as well, in the same situation, would feel like their town doesn't need this. They don't want this. They want to live their life normally, and they don't want to be bothered by it. And then, of course, other people would recognize it as a great sport. Like, imagine if there was something like this for soccer, football, right? As you guys in non-America would call it. You would probably love something like this, where, like, say, like a massive, like maybe like international teams came to other countries to play constantly, and you know, your small town had a stadium where, you know, like, I don't know, like France came to play Germany or something like that. Like, that would be awesome. How great, that would be great, right? And I think that's what the World Cup tries to embody, but you know, it fails because the leaders of FIFA are basically more corrupt than the gangs in Pennsylvania, in New York. I don't know why I said, but anyway, yeah, that was the point I was trying to make. I made it poorly, but I did make it. So anyway, back to the realistic states. Right now, as you see here, I'm going to go just ham on this Wobbuffet. That was a really high skill play, and my commentary kind of detracted from it, but I do take him on. That's how you beat a Wobbuffet, by the way. All right, that's enough for today, I think. What was I so riled up about again? So he's taking a nap. Think I might go take a nap. I'm very sorry for all that drama. That's all right. You seem like an opinionated individual. He can be nice, but from time to time he gets angry and irrational. Just like all old people, I suppose. He's very set in his ways. He also paid over 1,000,000 yen for that stadium in town. 1,000,000 yen? What? That's crazy. Why would he pay so much for some competition? Metro, it's not just some competition. This means a lot to this town. What do you mean? Well, this is pretty much the only time anyone really visits Mapletown. Usually it's a quiet little place with a lot of old people around. Nothing interesting happens here, but this is the first time we've been included on the circuit of towns to visit. We're being recognized by a competition known all over the world. Of course people are going to be excited about it all. Wow, I never really thought about it that way. You guys never really do. Anyway, let's go get you that Pokemon I promised. This is my uncle's storage room. It's a little cramped, I know, but I prepared a few Pokemon he wouldn't really miss. And seeing as you're here before your friend, you get first choice. But you should hurry up, because I'm claustrophobic. Take your pick. It's like another, you know, like, why did they add that claustrophobic thing? Like, it's, we should head off. Hey, Metro, am I too late to grab a Pokemon? This is all fairly standard, so I'm just going to talk about some other things before we end here. But, you know, what you're seeing and what you saw is really a great example of what I've been discussing. Like, this game does a great job introducing the human element, and you know, the grandfather character, you know, what uncle, whatever that dude was, that's exactly how it is. And then, you know, this Jasper guy we just spoke with, you know, he really told us like it is. That's exactly how it would be in real life. Like, I'm telling you word for word, that's how it would be. And, you know, the people who participate, just like in, you know, people in the World Cup's so hyped up. You know, people go to Brazil and all this, and everybody's like, oh my God, Brazil 2014 or whatever it was. And they're going nuts. And then as soon as it's over, those stadiums are abandoned. Most are built just for the World Cup in a lot of these countries. They're abandoned, and, you know, they're trying to be recycled or used for other events, but it's just never really the same. So, yeah. I mean, it's really sad because that's just how it goes, but speaking of which, we're running a bit late. I think we're supposed to be there like now. Good luck to you guys. See you in a bit. So next episode, we are going to take on the arena. Wow, what a place. Yeah, it's beautiful here. Shame about the people. I like places like this, which make me feel... It's places like this which make me feel lucky to be a part of this, you know? Yeah. Anyway, we should go. Do you want to go now or look around for a bit? So, you know, just before we end, I want to echo that again because I think that's one of the true strengths of the game. Like, you know, you actually feel that way as well when you're playing it. And, you know, our brother character there really told us like it is. You know, that's exactly how it would be. We kind of take it for granted. And then it's the small things like that that really help us there. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.